My lungs were just filling up, and I felt very relaxed. And I was like, wow, I'm taking really deep breaths, thinking to myself. And I look up and I see this blue bag, I see an ambu bag. And I'm thinking to myself, oh geez, this is not a good sign.
And then all of a sudden I remember seeing the bag move, and it was pumping up and down. And her eyes opened, so I knew that she was back.
And they took the ambu bag off, and I looked at Dr. Grimes and I said, did we win? It was the Heat Game 7, the Eastern Conference Finals. And he said, he goes, forget about the Heat tonight. He goes, you're the winner. You just won. You know, I could have dealt with a heart attack, but knowing that I died, it's pretty weird.
I realized that, you know, I could have left the hospital that night without her.
It scares the heck out of you, and you just realize life turns on a dime. And you realize it can happen again. He said, now do you need anything to stop smoking? Because if you don't, he goes, I'm going to see you in 3 years if you're lucky. If not, I won't see you. And I smoked probably a pack and a half of cigarettes a day. And I said, I don't need anything. I said, the visual of the ambu bag is enough. And so that was my last, you know, never smoked again. I think about it every day. I think I gotta go work out. I gotta eat right. I got a recumbent bike in my office, so in my office when I'm doing emails, I can be on that. I work out every day. I'm there every day doing cardio because I just don't want to stop, because I feel like if I stop, it's going to be easier to forget to do it the next time. You sit there and you count your pills once a week and put them in that box, and you're like, oh my God, it's surreal. It's definitely surreal. There were signs, I think, as far as my color and things like that, my skin tone. I remember the day of my dad's birthday, I went and I got my hair blown. I was talking to George, and I said, I look like garbage here. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, my skin tone. He goes, no, it's just the mirrors. We need to replace the mirrors in this place. And I was like, I just don't look right. Something doesn't look right. And I remember for like probably 4 months before that, it seemed like I was getting sick a lot more. And I kept thinking, something's going on. There's something going on. I never thought it was, I never thought it was my heart. Maybe I thought it was, maybe in the back of my mind I might have, because I remember I would always feel like just a little flutter sometimes. And I would be like, oh, it's nothing. I'm working too hard. I'm stressed. I remember being tired. Like I would play golf with my friends and I come home and I'm like, man, I'm beat. And I would sort of like take a little nap. But I think in my eyes weren't open. I felt like my eyes were like just shut. Like I'd have to go like that. If I was in a picture, I would make a cognizant, you know, motion to open my eyes and open them wide. And a lot of times I put sunglasses on, so I looked tired. And I remember going up the stairs and I'd get a little bit tired, but I kept thinking, look, I work in the hospice industry, I'm in healthcare, I'm young, I'm 52 years old, 53 years old, nothing's gonna happen to me. And then it was interesting, after the fact, all my friends were like, oh, you looked like garbage, but we didn't want to say anything to you. And I was like, next time, can you make sure, please say something to me. But I remember a lot of friends saying, you just didn't look right. You looked yellow, you looked pale, you just looked tired. And you know, but it's hard to say to somebody, you look like you could be sick. But I think it's important that you do. I'm sure they, you know, were extremely influential in saving my life. And because of the guidelines they set, the research and development they do, and you know, just the protocols they put in place in the hospitals, and you know, how they make it such, you know, they put the timelines and all those things. I realize what's important and what's not important. You know, the things that you get upset about normally, you know, those things that you think are important, all of a sudden the rug's pulled out from under you and you realize, you know, it really doesn't matter. These things don't matter. I mean, your health matters, your family matters, your friends matter.